Okay guys, for our demo today we're going to talk about a few items here. One of the items is going to be the one-click swatch, whereby we're going to completely design an ad and then have the ability to completely change the color scheme with 1 to 2 clicks, generally 1 click. And also too, uh, we're going to discuss text threading as well. Flowing text. So let's navigate over to InDesign here, and we're going to start from scratch here. I do have a couple items created and a mock for this, but we're generally going to do this from scratch. So I'm going to go File, New, and File, New, Document. And of course, we're not going to have picas. We're going to go to 2 inches here, 8.5 by 11. I'm going to leave it at 3 pages right now. I'm going to have 2 facing pages. The very first page I probably won't use, but we'll leave it there just in case we decide to do some type of cover. And I'm going to go Create here. And I'm going to switch the view over to Preview to get rid of my borders. I generally don't design with my slug, my bleed area intact. Okay, so the first thing we want to do here is that I'm going to create a new swatch. Okay, that's the very first thing I'm going to do. And basically everything that we do in this design is going to somehow use this singular swatch, this primary swatch. I'll go new color swatch right here, and I'm just going to click off of the area that says name with color value. Let's call this primary swatch. Now, one piece of advice here too is that if you do have a lot of swatches open, a lot of swatches created, you might want to put primary in all caps so that way it stands out to you better. So primary swatch here, and I'm going to choose more of a darker color here. Let's go with this color here. And that will be our primary swatch right here. So the first thing I'm going to do here is at the very top, I'm just going to click and drag a banner here, something along the lines of that, and I'm going to fill that in with our primary swatch. Next, I'm going to create a text layer here, and the name of our company here is going to be Godjet, basically a store. Okay, but the concept almost looks like it's leaning towards some type of comic store, but we'll see. We'll call it Godjet, and just so you can see how that looks here, go just place some text in here. And bear with me while we're actually designing this. And this is going to be this font here. Let's go with 36. Let's go with 48 for this. And I'm just going to place it up here for scale. About right there. Now I know jet is going to be white. I know the is going to be white. Well, what I'm going to do here now is for the word God and the word original, I'm going to make them a tint of the color we already have. So I'm going to click here, highlight original, click on my primary swatch, and notice we can't see it because it's the same color as the background. But watch this now. While I'm still on the swatch, while I'm still highlighted on the text here, I'm going to click here and drag down and bring it down to 30, let's say about 37%, or 36 is fine. And notice now it's a different color, even though it's just a tint of the same color. Same deal here. Let's go down to, say, I'm just going to type the number in here. Like so. Now somehow that looks different. Primary swatch. There we go. That was weird. It looked different there for a minute. Now I was going to create a logo, but I'm just going to use a font for that. So I'm just going to create a square here, text frame, and I'm going to type in any character. I'm just going to make it bigger for now, just so I can see it. And for font, let's see what font that was. I believe it was this one here. Just a quick way to put a graphic in there, really. And I think I was going to use that one. Place this up here, and I'll space it out afterwards. Just get it in the right spot first, and the right color. I could copy and paste and have it all in one text frame too, but for now this just works a little bit better. Let's use that primary swatch again, and we're going to make it a tint again. Let's go with 37 or 36. There we go. I'm just going to space this text out a little bit here now, like so. That way it'll allow us to make our makeshift logo spread out a little bit better here. Not quite where I want it. That's fine like that. And let's see, the next part we're going to create here, we're going to create another little banner going across here. And I don't need that quite that large, so I'm just going to make that a bit smaller there. And I'm going to create another rectangular frame here. And let's go about right here. And just guess which color we're going to use. The primary swatch again. And make it a tint again. I'll use that same 36 for now. There we go. And I'm going to make a couple little slivers on the end of this. It'll be 3 here, so I'm just going to copy this, Command C, Command V. And the reason I just didn't create this from scratch, guys, because this is the piece that I want here. Notice by copying the piece that's already here, I already have the original height. Okay, so I don't have to guess what the height is. This height is going to be exactly the height of this, so it kind of is useful for my purpose. Showing me that it lines up there. I'm just going to zoom in on this area a little bit. Let's move over a tiny bit more, like so. Command C, Command V. Same thing. Line it up there. And same deal again, Command C, Command V. And it's fairly lined up here. Now these 3 pieces, I'm going to have all of them have a different tint. So this one right here, notice it's already at 36. Okay, when I click on it, it shows the value that was already there, the 36 tint connected to the primary swatch. Now I'm going to make this 26. Just hit Tab. And this one here is going to be 16. Tab. And this one here is going to be 6. I zoom back out here now, you can see that it kind of adds a little bit of distinction to the end of this block, rather than just having this regular block here. I wanted to add a little bit more design to it, so that allowed me to do that. So that's the way I would like that to look. Let's go with another text layer here. I'm going to copy the one that I already have here. So A quick way to duplicate as well, guys, to duplicate is again Shift, Alt, and drag. Shift, Alt, and drag. On a Mac, it would be Shift, Option, and drag. Shift, Alt, and drag. There we go. That's a duplicate of that. Just going to get rid of everything that's here because this is the size that I want. Let's go with this is the epic story of Gadget. So the idea is just completely random, guys, for the content. This is the epic story of Gadget, whoever Gadget is. Let's make this font here, put it down to maybe 30. I'm going to make this black. And this, of course, it's going to take on our primary swatch, but I want to have this at 100. Notice when I just clicked on the primary swatch again, it got rid of my tint. Okay, so be careful of that. And I've just got to arrange here, put up in front. Now this seems to have got attached to that, took on the 36. Okay, let's make this 100. There we go. And let's see here. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Just trying to figure out the scale here. Let's make this 36. I'm just going to align this right here. And now I'm going to right align my text. The reason I did that because where this is going to be a left facing page, I want all my text to end right on this vertical line going down. And as we put more content in here, you'll see how it will line up. Okay, so that looks good so far. The next piece that we're going to do here, just be 1 second here, guys. I'm just going to add another little phrase here. This is just going to be all white. And notice, guys, that Shift, Alt, and drag to duplicate your item is such an easy tool for duplicating A, your font style, okay, and B, your font size, okay. So it's a quick way to duplicate the style and font that you already have there, because efficiency is the main thing when it comes to design, okay. One thing I'll note here too, you know, we have a lot of time to work on items here while we're in school. When you get in the workforce, whatever you decide to do in regards to design, you will be expected to meet deadlines, okay? So keep that in mind as you go along, guys. Let's see here. So I've made that white. So I'm just going to say here, don't ask, just buy. So that's just a little catchphrase here for our mock company. Excuse me. Of course, not a very good strategy for life. Don't ask, just buy. That would probably get us in a lot of trouble, though. We all do it from time to time, I'm sure. Let's see here. So that's pretty much the top part of it here. We're going to add another portion here on the left side here now. So I'm going to create a box that fits right in here. And again, this is going to be connected to the primary swatch. Now notice it's on top of our design part here, so I have to arrange it in the back. So Control and left bracket, move it under here. There we go. The tint here is going to be lower than what it is. Let's go with something like the 60. 60 there. And I'm just going to move it up a little bit here. About right there. Next thing, I'm going to make a title here. So I could actually redo that. So I'm just going to duplicate this frame here rather than find the font again. Get rid of that. The wrench. So guys, this is going to be a fictional story. And key point here is fictional, on how the wrench came to no longer exist. Okay, so that was my random idea for today. And let's go here. $30 for that. Make it a little bit bigger where it is a title. And of course, the reason it disappeared is because there was too much content for the frame that I had built, so I need to extend this frame. Like so. Something like that. Make this white. That's about what I'm looking for there. I believe that's large enough for the title. The next thing I'm going to do here, create another rectangular frame here, and I'm going to place it right in here. And I'm going to bring an image in here now, and you can just guess what the image is going to be. It's going to be an image of a wrench. What else could it be? And I'm going to notice that image is quite large. I didn't downsize it in an official project. I would downsize it because, of course, this is going to add file size to our document. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to have it at that size. I'm going to rotate this as well, 90, and I'm using the rotate option up here, okay, while I'm on the subselect tool here, okay, tab, and rotates it like so. And now while it's still selected here, see how it turns to the hand tool? I'm going to drag it back down in the window, okay, like so. Let's make that a little bit smaller. And we're going to leave it like that. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this area right here. So I'm going to create a couple of bars here. So it already has the color that I need, so I'm just going to reuse that. Command C, Command V. This is going to be a very thin piece. Just downsize it like this. Something like that. And I'm going to have it at the bottom too. Command C, Command V. Could have just Shift Alt and dragged as well, but it's quicker like this for me. Something like that. So now if we were doing another version, instead of the wrench, it was the bit and carrot, I don't know, then all we'd have to do is change our information and change out this image. Of course, we already have our designated area for our image. Next item that we're going to have here, we're going to have some text. So I'm going to create a text frame here. And it's going to go to right here, let's say. And I'm just going to, first of all, just type in a little bit of text and set the font. Story of the wrench goes back. Let's make this 18. The font that I was going to use, let's go with this Halyard. I'm just going to type some text in here first. Centuries. Excuse me, guys. I might have to sneeze. Just be 1 second. It was in the 143rd century that someone finally said, "Hey, this wrench doesn't work anymore." And this is all made up, guys. It was at that point that someone had to, and I'll just keep typing here. Just some random text here, guys. It doesn't quite fill out the page here, but don't worry about that for now. We have a couple other elements we're going to place here. Again, I'm going to have another little piece down here, so I'm actually going to copy this piece because it's got the exact color that I need. Command C, Command V. There we go. And I just want to change the size here. Let's go with something like that. Let's make it a bit smaller. Right there. And I'm going to duplicate this text here. It's exactly the color I need. Let's arrange it so it's on top. And I'm just going to put in a title here for Randy the Wretched, and we'll say that her living years were 142,333 to 142,852. So apparently in the future they live 500 years expected life cycle. Again, just fictional. Randy the Wretched. And I need to extend my text frame here. I want to line it up there. I have a feeling I'll probably have to make some of this text smaller. We'll figure that out after. 142,333 to 142,852. make just for the size, just to kind of format this a little bit. This is going to be 18. These years down here are going to be 18 as well. Wendy is going to take on the primary swatch. The tint is going to be about, let's say 26. Looks good. And same thing with this one as well. Primary swatch, and we're going to put this as 26. Now, guys, one thing too, if you think that you might forget some of your numbers for your tint values, what you can always do is, of course, you can click back on items to check that tint value. But also, too, if you have a little piece of paper, you can jot down some of these numbers so that way you can quickly and easily reuse those values, okay, to be consistent. Just a little bit of advice there as well. That looks good. I'm going to move this over here now. And actually what I'm going to do, because where this frame actually extends past this block, I'm just going to set this up properly. And that way I'm going to set this so this text frame always starts right in this position, right here. And that looks good there. So that's one page done here. I'm just going to save this. I won't say done, but we'll see. You'll see where we go from here. And before we move on, I'm just going to see how our we're at 27 minutes. Okay, we have time yet. Usually try to keep these between 40 and 45 minutes a piece. And just 1 second here, guys. Okay, so we have our title, our makeshift logo, our catchphrase, a little bit about Gadget here, our product, which is the wrench, or maybe our story in this case. And we just have a little bit of a tidbit here about Wendy, the leader of our wrenches, I guess you could say. Again, completely mock information. So what we're going to do here now is I just noticed that if I go to pages here, I actually have this in the first page slot. I actually wanted to have it in page 2. So easy enough to change here. I'm just going to highlight over everything. Okay, guys? Just going to drag over everything, just a recap. And once everything's selected, just go Command C. Click inside the page 2 here. Notice I'm highlighted on page 2 here in the Pages tab. And click over here and go Command V. Now, while everything is still selected together, I'm just going to drag it into place here, like so. Just make a few small adjustments here. There we go. And it's exactly where it needs to be. So now I'm just going to make up a scheme for our second page. Our second page is going to be more simplistic. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to make a rectangular frame right here. That's going to be for our image. This portion here, though, I want to drag this over here because I don't want it to interfere with our image. Excuse me, guys. And let's see. So the first thing I'm going to do, just to kind of eye this page up a little bit, I'm just going to bring my image in here. So Command D to place. Here it is here. I'll just use the same image for now. And about right there is good. Excuse me. I'm going to reuse this portion here. Shift, Alt, and drag. So see how I'm reusing elements here, guys. Rather than create some of these items from scratch, and also too to add consistency, we reuse elements by copying and pasting them. That's a great strategy for design. Okay. Now one thing I see is I do need to make that longer, so I'm just going to zoom in here. There we go. Because I only want to move it horizontally. I don't want to have to stretch it out here. And let's go like this. Just drag this back so there's no space here. Something minor like that too, where there was a little bit of a gap here, that can show up in a print job. So something that you want to keep an eye out for. Copy it again. And let's make sure it lines up with this other portion here. I'm going to purposely put some spaces in between here and here just to kind of give it a certain effect, I guess you could say. Or probably not. I don't like that. Let's try something different here. Let's go right here. And let's bring it close to here. I'm just going to drag across here to see if that's lined up, and it is good. Now this one here, again, attached to the primary swatch, but I'm going to make this one 100%. So that way it's the original primary swatch. And let's zoom back out to see how it looks. Looking good so far, I don't mind that. And this design is going to be more simplistic on this side, like I mentioned. Let's see. I'm going to duplicate this because that's our title. Let's put it right here, maybe right around there. Of course, the white won't work on white. Let's go with black here. And I'll take the space back because we don't need that extra space. That was only for our divider here. Duplicate these two pieces. Select both of these together, and I'm going to Shift Alt and drag these. Something like that. And I'm going to place a text frame in here. Let's go about right there. Let's drag this portion back a little bit. So that way our text is nowhere close to the edge here. I'm just going to think about it for a second, guys, if there's anything else I want to add design-wise here. Maybe what I could do, just going to add another little piece up here. And this is going to take on that primary swatch color. But again, it's going to take on some type of tint here. Maybe let's go with 10. And let's arrange it so it's below our text. Like that. Just making a few small adjustments here. Now, something I noticed here though, with that little bit of space here, kind of has a nice professional, clean, compact space here. Might do the same thing with these two pieces, just to be consistent. Now, it might take away from the image though. That's the only concern here. Let's go like that. Now, I think that will work. That will be fine. So, and the only other thing I'd like to see here is maybe this Godjet item here. Maybe what I'll do is I'm going to select this and our makeshift logo here. Let's grab the frame. There we go. and Alt and drag it over here. And I'm going to bring it down here, but I don't want it to interfere with the text frame. So even though I do have to make some changes here in regards to the colors being used, I'm just going to make it smaller here. So while it's still selected, everything's selected, Shift Alt and just drag it down so it downsizes the text here. What you actually want to do here is you want to go Control Shift Alt, okay, all three. Control Shift and Alt. This will maintain the sizes within your frame, okay? And there we go. Bring this down here. And this text frame here is going to be extended up to about right here. So that way it doesn't interfere with our logo. Just going to zoom in a bit here now. This is going to be our primary swatch. And Jet is going to be our primary swatch as well. And zoom back out. Okay, so that turned out pretty decent, I would say. Looks like everything is centered. A little bit wondering about that. I could always check the rulers as well, but in the speed of design, sometimes I generally just like to eye it up. If a client ever asked me to double check it, I would then for sure check it with rulers. But it looks like it's fairly close to centered here. Something like this too, guys. This is just a general design item. Whenever you have a large item next to a small item, and you want to determine whether they're centered within an object or a document, it will throw you off sometimes because you're trying to look at one corner over here on the left, which is a small item that it's next to, and over here on the right, you have a larger item, where your corner is next to, basically. So that will throw you off from time to time, but it looks pretty good there. And I like where that is now. So guys, the next part about this now, and I'm just going to make a little note here too. So one click needs a primary swatch. Okay, to do the one-click color change, you do need a primary swatch. We're going to do that here right now. So we have our pages design. I'm happy with the way things look. I could add more if I wanted to. I do notice that garage here is cut off into 2 lines. Don't like to see that. So now the client comes to us and says, okay, we need a St. Patrick's Day theme for this. Okay, we want to run your ad, but we want to have a St. Patrick's Day theme. Now we have to do all this work to change this into a St. Patrick's Day theme, don't we? Wrong, we don't. All we need to do is do one thing, and that's change our primary swatch. Watch this. Double click here, bring you into your swatch. Let's find the green here. And I would say this is about the green we're looking for here, and click OK. Our design is completely changed. One click. Okay? One click there and it changed our design completely. Okay? Let's undo that though. Let's go one step further. Let's say that we had another portion here and that covered our graphic. Okay? This little piece here is going to cover our graphic, and I'll just do it for this side. And let's say it goes with our primary swatch. And with this one, we're going to go to Properties, and we're going to take the opacity down. Okay. Notice how a graphic takes on a blue tint here. Okay. We got it down to 21. And just click off here. And that's how it looks. Let's do our primary swatch again here now. Just save that. Let's double click. Come over to a green tint. Maybe I'll try this type of green here. It still has to stay a dark color. And click OK. Notice that everything in our design takes on that green tint, but our image takes on some shades of a green as well. Now, it's not really obvious because it's such a strong blue, though. But if you play around with the tint there, you can get the right color mode. Let's say we need to use this design for Halloween. Let's do it again. Let's try to find an orange here. Excuse me, guys. Let's go with this dark orange right here. Somewhere around there. Click OK. And now we have we can start the basis of a Halloween, though I'm not really happy with that orange. Let's go with something different. Let's go with, that's more of the orange I'm looking for right here. Click OK. As you can see, it takes on an orange tint here now. And of course, maybe we could change this to, instead of the original, it could be the Halloween, etc. So as you can see, just a quick way, if you set your documents up from the scratch, from the start, all attached to a primary swatch, or a lot of colors attached to a primary swatch, then you could easily change the color scheme of your design. Okay, just a quick way to do it. Efficiency is very important in design, and this is one way to set yourself up to save some time in the future. Okay, so let's save that. And the next thing we're going to do here now is we're going to show threading text. Okay, so I'm actually going to set up a few more pages here. So I'm going to insert pages. After page 3, I'm going to go with 2. Okay. We don't have a master set, so it doesn't really matter if they have a master or not. And click OK. So we have 2 more pages down here. So I'm not going to do any design for this. I'm just going to copy this section here. Command C. Double click on this page 4 here. Click inside it. And Command V. Just line that up there. And click over here now. And Command V again. And just move this over here. That's about right. We can just pretend that these were extra pages in our design. If we wanted to differentiate, I could go page, and let's go there again. 2, and I'm not sure why it's not letting me type. Okay. Just be 1 second, guys. And of course, if I needed this to be consistent, I could just copy and paste. We'll just call it page 2 and page 3 here. So notice we have 4 pages here, and what our goal here is going to be, let's say we start typing our story here. We want to be able to extend our text into here, and also into here and to here. Of course, you guys saw this in your the chapter that you guys had read. And I'll show you this here now. So I'm just going to type in here. And I'm just going to, first of all, before I do anything, we need to set the output and the link area, okay? So right down here, this is your output area right here. So we're going to click in this bottom right corner, okay? As you can see, when I click it, you can see it kind of has text attached to the selector here. And I'm going to come over here, and I can press now and click once I see that there's a link. Okay, you can see right next to the arrow here, there's a little link here. If I went over here, notice I'm not inside the text frame, and there's no longer a link there. So I need to be over here and click when I see the link, and click here, and now these are attached. The way you know that the text is what we call threaded is if you see this little arrow in the top left-hand corner. Okay. Notice if I click down here into this page, there's no arrow there. Okay. Now what I want to do is click here again, click in the bottom right of this box now, and move it into the next page. And we see there's a link there. Click there. The arrow's there. That means this page is linked now as well. Do the same thing for this one. Bottom right is the output. You see the text show up, and then we click inside when we see the link. And there we go. Excuse me. Now all text is linked. And now when we start typing here, I'm just going to copy and paste some. Copy and paste. Now if I can continue typing here, this is a story of great, and I just want to see how big this text frame is. Okay, I'm just going to shorten this up a little bit. Notice when I shorten that, what couldn't fit here went to the next frame over here. So it works. Excuse me, guys. I'm just going to copy this now and paste it in here. And let's paste again. And notice, as I kept pasting here, it went down on this page as well. And let's paste again. And I'm just going to type out the rest of this here now. And I'm just going to put some random text here. Notice that as I keep typing here, okay, it extends again to my third page. So it is working. And notice where this is set now. If we decided, okay, this page needs to come over to the right a little bit more. We need less room for the text, and we need room for an image here on the left. Well, I could extend this like so. And the text that does not show up here now, because the text frame is smaller, now shows up on the right side. So now we could actually bring in an area for an image right here. So I'm just going to do that just for the sake of showing you. Let's bring the image in right here. And again, it's going to be our original image, our wrench, right there. Also, too, a quick way to match your content to your frame. If you right-click here, go Fitting, and fill frame proportionally. It's a quick way to fill the frame of your window, your rectangular frame. And just for design purposes, now I'm just going to add a stroke here. And if I was going to add a stroke to this, maybe, or what I could do is have the image like that without a stroke. So let's take the stroke off, and maybe I'd duplicate this text frame or this rectangular frame. Go like this, and let's just fill it with a color. Take the image out of it, delete the image, and of course the frame is still there. Click on the frame, and we're going to fill it with the primary swatch, and just move it underneath. Control and left arrow key, or sorry, Control and left bracket, the bracket next to the P, and something like that. Now I wouldn't have this quite that color where it's right next to an orange line here. It kind of clashes. So maybe I'd bring that down to maybe 60. That's okay like that. So guys, that's a demonstration based around using your primary swatch to change the color of your design in one click. Okay, if you set your document up right, you can change your color in one click. For different purposes, for different seasons, for Halloween, Christmas, St. Patrick's Day, or maybe your client or yourself just want a different color scheme. Okay, that's a quick way to be able to do that. And of course, also we went over threading text here, and that's a very simple technique as well. But what you want to do is definitely be aware of how you're clicking. Okay. And of course, just to recap, um, whenever you're threading text, you start with your bottom right corner, then you place it in your top left in your next text frame. Okay. So you start with the bottom right and you move it into your top left. And guys, what I'm going to do here before I leave this, I'm just going to make a few comments. So threading text, flowing text is also known as. Output box is bottom right. Input box the next text frame is top left. That's just a quick note there. Okay guys, well hopefully you enjoyed this demonstration. We'll end our demonstration for now, and thank you very much.